Hello guys, my name is Anna and I'm from Ukraine, and I vlog daily to keep you updated on the real-life situation in my country during this awful year of Russian war in Ukraine. And subscribe if you're new to the channel, because I try to update you on various subjective and interesting moments about Ukrainian realities, Ukrainian history, culture, and whatever I consider important, because this is a vlog and they are subjective. And today I am going to be sarcastic because I cannot speak about Putin in any other way. And if you want to know what Ukrainians think about Putin, be sure we are laughing at him. It is before the war that we were clearly following his ideas and threats that he was throwing in the direction of Ukraine and international community. Now, after the year of full-scale war, we totally disrespect him. We do not consider him an actor of the international politics, and I wonder honestly when other respected global leaders still address him as the president of Russia. And today this so-called dictator of Russia addressed his deputies in his traditional speech on the 21st of February 2023. And honestly, I don't know, perhaps it was truly difficult for him, because what can you say? After a year of war in Ukraine, we often concentrate on the changes that happen inside my country. But what happened to Russia? Of course, there are things that are bad. Russia is still fighting and operating. It did not collapse yet, but I'm sure it must, because I don't see any other solution for Russian society, and it's extremely toxic, brainwashed, and it is responsible for Putin as the president, because the country is always responsible for its choices. I don't believe like that 140 million people cannot do anything with a group of oligarchs led by Putin. But during this year, many things happen, and definitely Russia is a negative, dark country. Its true face, its criminal face is visible for the rest of the world. It lost many of agreements, contracts, trade opportunities, and in isolation. Of course, it has some partners that either observe it like China or support it like North Korea, but tell me who your friend and I will tell you who you are, we say in Ukraine. So looking at the friends of Putin and those who pretend they still respect him, though they don't, because in this, dictator circles, you have to be strong, you have to demonstrate victories. If don't, you lose your influence, and Putin is losing his influence, and look at the way he looks on the photos even. So perhaps it was very difficult for him to compose the speech to make it look victorious, or at least strong. And of course it started with sharing all negative, like totally not connected with reality things. Like that the West started this war. So if you didn't know, war in Ukraine started because of the West. West wanted to fight with Russia and seduced Ukraine, and they returned to protect their dangerous phrase historical land. So think countries like Finland, Poland, Baltic countries, they consider us historic lands. So it always casts danger. Then he believes in secret biolaboratories, NATO biolaboratories close to the borders of Russia. I haven't come across one. I was not invited to work in, but Putin believes they exist. After a year of full-scale war, after all the attention, like microscopical analysis of Ukraine by international media agencies, he still thinks someone will believe that. Also, he says that the United States are developing new nuclear programs. That's why Russia has to stop its participation in some kind of nuclear agreement. And if the USA will start checking and training various nuclear programs, Russia will definitely do that too. So Putin, once again, for a couple of months, he forgot about nuclear war, but now he tries to resume these topics. And I'm sorry, I'm still having a cold. Anyway, he's trying to persuade the world that he has nuclear powers and he must be dangerous. The reasons why he had to attack Ukraine was really obvious. We were getting ready for war. We had lots of international soldiers and international weapons at the beginning of February 22, and we were also restoring our nuclear status. Actually, I like the way he sees us right now. It's even stronger than we are now. Also, he did not speak about like serious things. He did not name this war a war when it's obvious, like even for Russian society. He did not mention anything about the successes of this operation. He was only talking about this Nazis, enemies, rotting West, and a very traditional Russian speech since the times of the Soviet Union. Also, he kept silent about mobilization, and from what in various intelligence services say, Russia needs a new wave of mobilization that must finish before the 1st of April, which is actually the start of this spring army service or whatever. And the most important thing, according to various intelligence services analysis, they are going to mobilize university students. Maybe not from the central universities, but somewhere in Novosibirsk, in Tomsk, and that is a huge scandal. At least I hope something will happen to Russians and their society when students will start disappearing from lectures. Ukraine at war, a much smaller country with fewer like people in general. Our population is very smaller in contrast to Russia. We don't do that. So anyway, I hope that some reactions will appear. Also, one more document became vivid this time, that Russia is trying to totally swallow, annex Belarus by 2030. For me, it is already like a ghost of a country totally controlled by Russia that gave all of its territories to Russians, and they do whatever they want, using the military infrastructure of Belarus, using their weapons, using their planes. But in future, they plan just to swallow Belarus and to make it part of Russia, even like in this legal field. And there are lots of awful things that they describe in that document, like Russian language only, Russian culture only, and that is so Nazi. And in general, I have to say that after this 1 year of war in Russia, I see Russian society as miserable, dark, sad, depressive, isolated. Sanctions do not work the way they should, but Russia is not winning this war. A year before, in February 2022, all the Americans were advised to leave Ukraine because of escalation. And in February 2023, Biden, President of the United States, visited us, which clearly demonstrates that we are winning this war. But the problem is that after the year of mass murders, crimes against humanity, deportations, tortures, executions, stealing of Ukrainian children, Putin is still the president of Russia, and many countries address him as a president or think they can save his face. There is no face in Putin, on Putin, or whatever you say. This is a person that cannot be called a person. This is a criminal. This is a devil. This is a person that must be stopped forever and punished, because unpunished evil grows. And we know that Russia is capable of producing more and more dictators. Also, I have some thoughts about Navalny. I'm not sure if you like my impressions and opinions of those Russian leaders. Let me know, would you like me to record a vlog on that? And I would like to thank you for your support, for your attention to my channel. If you're new and you like the videos, please subscribe and share, because the world needs to know more about Ukraine, and war fatigue is a very dangerous thing. We don't want to lose this war just because Putin has lots of people he is ready to sacrifice, lots of old Soviet weapons, and the world will get tired, and Ukraine will not have power to oppose. Because if we are supported, if we are backed up by you, we're able to win this evil. Thank you for buying me coffees, thank you for becoming my patrons, and most importantly, thank you for your support of my country, Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!